We already know how to register new navigation menus from earlier in the course when we added the primary menu in the header. So there should be no surprises during this video where we're going to register the footer menu down at the bottom. The footer menu is still linking it to the HTML files when we created the Bootstrap version. Let's go over to the dashboard and then go down to Appearance. Inside here, we have the Menus option where we can create a new menu. I'm going to create this from the Create a New Menu link and give this menu a name of Footer Menu and then hit Enter. This is an alternative approach to building a menu. Early on, we created the primary header menu using the customizer. This footer menu has 3 different links, one for the blog, the Contact Us page, and a page we don't have yet called the privacy policy. Remember, this was a page we never PHP code here. We can take this over to our footer.php, and this will allow us to take advantage of all the usual Bootstrap classes. In our footer, just under our navigation header, I'm going to comment out this unordered list for our 3 links, then paste in our nav walker. We can edit this now, so this is the footer rather than primary. We still have the depth of 1 since we're not using a drop down. The container this time is an unordered list. The container class is list group. Let's edit this section here. Paste this in. We don't have a container ID, so we can remove this line. The menu class, we can also remove this line. We then have our nav walker, which is all the same, so we can save this file. These changes were made all apply to the container, i.e. the unordered list wrapper, with the class of list group. But what about the individual list items? The WP nav menu function will automatically create our links as li elements. It will also automatically add WordPress classes too, but we also need to add our Bootstrap class of list group item. There is not a way we can do this inside of this array. There are options such as before and after, which we can use in the array, where we can add a string to output a list item element with our own classes. But since an li element is automatically added, we'll end up with a li nested inside of an li. First, if we refresh the browser, we can see how our footer menu currently looks. So reload this on any page. We'll see our navigation doesn't quite look right. One way we can fix this is if we go over to the dashboard, appearance, and then menus. Inside here, if we click on the screen options at the top, we can add some CSS classes by checking this box. And this now allows us to add our CSS classes to each page. So if we click on the blog, for example, we can add the list group item. So let's copy this. This is the class which matches up with our list items from here. We can also do the same for contact us and also for our privacy policy. So then save this. Then we can reload our blog and our menu links now look like they did before. Although this is working, we don't want to rely on the end user, remembering to add this class each time they add a new page to the footer. We can create a more permanent way of doing this using a filter called navMenu CSS class. We can do this over in the functions file. And I'm going to add this down at the very bottom. So just before the closing PHP tag, we can create a function. This is going to be called add footer menu class. Inside here, this is going to take in 3 arguments. The first one is going to be called classes, which is an array. This is an array of CSS classes, which is applied to the menu's list item element. The second one is going to be for the item. The item is the current menu item, although we don't need to use this in our particular function. And the third one is for the args. This is an object of WP nav menu arguments. This will give us access to the theme location, along with other current menu information if needed. Inside of here, we're going to use a PHP if statement. Inside of here, we want to check the theme's location and see if it's equal to the footer. We can grab the theme's location from the args, then the arrow, and then the theme underscore location. We want to check if this location is equal to the footer. If it is, this code inside the curly braces will run. And what we want to do, we want to add our bootstrap class to the array. So $symbol classes, which is this argument just here. We want to set an array item to be equal to list group item. Semicolon at the end. Then after this, we're going to return our classes array with a semicolon at the end. So just to recap, we are creating a function which is going to check if the theme location is equal to the footer. If it is, we're going to push to the classes array a string of list group item, and this will apply to each item in our footer menu. So just after this, we're then going to run our familiar add filter. So the first argument is the filter name. The filter name we're going to be using is navMenu CSS class. Then after this, we add a callback, which is the name of our custom function, which is add footer menu class. So add this in, semicolon at the end. Then we're going to add 2 more arguments. The first one is a value of 10, and then the value of 3. The 10 is the priority which the function is ran. Any lower numbers are higher priority. I will leave this as the default of 10. The number 3 is the number of arguments the function will accept, which changes from the default value of 1 since we're now passing in 3 arguments. Let's save this and now go over to our theme, refresh. We can test this is working by removing the menu classes from our 3 links. So let's remove this. The one from the contact us. The privacy policy, save this. And reload. And we see our classes are still applying it to the footer menu, leaving us with a more permanent solution for this menu. Next, we're going to move on to advanced custom fields, which will really allow our theme to be fully customizable by the user.